welcome to the UnStopABLE Stories Show with Terrence Leftridge, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. Now here's your host, life accountability coach, Terrence Leftridge. Hey, it is an unstoppable day. It's your boy. Welcome to the UnStopABLE Stories Show with your boy Terrence, the unstoppable coach Leftridge, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. Come on in, swipe and share, swipe and share. We are doing another special edition, the 24 Days of Gratitude. That's right, 24 days of gratitude each and every day this month leading up to Thanksgiving. And I am so excited to be sharing this with you because here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a moment. I want you to take a second. I want you to take a minute. I want you to take an hour to really reflect on what it means to be thankful and then to think about some things that you are grateful for. Not trying to sell you nothing, not trying to give you anything, just the opportunity to think and reflect and to be thankful. Because here's what I know. If you take a moment to be thankful and grateful, and then you share that with somebody else, and they share that with someone else, and so on and so on and so on, then sooner or later we'll be creating a community of people that are more grateful and thankful for what they have than those who are upset and miserable about the things that they don't. And studies show that when you don't have something, you're going to do anything to get it. And most times it leads to negative behavior. And you know, the world we live in right now is full of a lot of negativity, a lot of hurt people hurting people, a lot of miserable people walking around in misery, a lot of pity people walking around with pity parties. And we want to change that, if not just for a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes this holiday season. As we move into holiday 2019, it's the perfect opportunity to think about being grateful and to think about what you are thankful for this holiday season. So as you come on in, swipe and share, swipe and share. We would love to see your comments and we would love to have you engage with us this evening as we go through talking to the wonderful guests that we're going to have with us for a brief period of time. So we're going to take a little bit of time just to make sure people are able to log in and people know that we are on the air. As you are coming in, you know what we like you to do. We like you to go ahead and let us know that you're here. So what's the best way to do that? You can just go ahead and type 1 if you're watching us live, or if you're watching the replay, that's absolutely okay. Go ahead and type in that number 2. And we're either going to recognize you live on this broadcast or we're going to recognize you during the replay. So we are on day number 19, you guys. Day number 19 of the 24 days of gratitude. I mean, it has just gone by. And what I love about it is I think there has been growth. There has been growth, definitely growth in the comments, definitely growth in the amount of people that are really taking part in this. And people are thinking. People are reflecting. Thanks, Mo Yorito, for joining. Hey, Eddie, thanks for joining. Don, thanks for watching. Don Mosley, thanks for watching. Come on in, swipe and share, swipe and share. Put your comments in the comment section, and we would love to hear from you. And we're just talking about gratitude this evening. And here's the question that I want you to think about as we go through the process of talking about it tonight. It's a very simple question. It's right there on your screen. And what is it? What's that question? It is, come on, put it on up there. I tell you live, there it is. What are you grateful for? Simple question. And we'd love for you to share in the comments what those things are that you're grateful for. Hey, Eric Wilson Sr., thanks for joining. Come on in, swipe and share. Share this with your friends. And I am grateful for today. I got to share this with you before we bring the guest on. So I told you guys, you know, I got multiple streams of income, and one of my streams of income is through Ubering. Love Ubering for 2 reasons. Love to drive, and I love to meet new people. And I met this fabulous woman this morning. Her name was Nicole. Nicole was bright and chipper and spirit filled right early this morning, 7 a.m. this morning. She had a smile on her face and she was happy for the day. And as we were talking, I asked her what she was grateful for. And like a lot of people who have said to me over the course of these 24 days, she was grateful for life. But this is what she said that just really blew me away. I'm so glad that you asked me that question, Terrence, because I think if everybody took each and every day to think about gratitude, this would be a better world. And I said, oh, yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I said. Now, here's the good part. Nicole works at a medical hospital, University of Chicago here. And she said having a daily dose of gratitude is just like taking your daily vitamins. Watch what she said. Having a daily dose of gratitude is just like taking your daily vitamins. You take your vitamins on a daily basis, so why not have a daily dose of gratitude? So that's what we are doing here. We're giving you your daily dose of vitamin G. So come on in. Somebody put that in the comments that you're ready to get your daily dose of vitamin G. You get vitamin B, you get vitamin C, you even get vitamin D. Now you can get your daily dose of vitamin G, that gratitude vitamin that's going to build you up from the inside out. Now, if that ain't not something to make you shout, I don't know what else is going to make you shout on a Friday night. But I think I got somebody who could help you shout a little bit more because she is a wonderful woman of God. She is one of my BBS sisters from another mother. She is spiritual. She is inspirational. And she's got a testimony because she has come to the other side of through. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you better strap on in because she's going to talk to you about what it means to be on the other side of through. See, you go through some things. We all go through some things. We all go through our trials, our tribulations, our tests, our struggles. But oh my God, when you are able to be on the other side of that trial and now it's a triumph, when you're able to be on the other side of that tribulation and now it is a testimony, when you're able to be on the other side of that struggle and now you are unstoppable, oh, you got a testimony. And it's something about being on the other side of through that is just uplifting and inspirational. And nobody can tell the story of being on the other side of through like my girl. She is a true woman of God. She is a loving wife. She is an author of a book anthology, part of the Live Your Best Life series. And she is my friend, the one, the only, the phenomenal Arlene Collins Wilson. Arlene, are you here? Oh, let me unmute you.
Woo!
Hey, hey, hey. Mic,
Woo!
mic check 1 2 1 2. Are
One,
you
two.
here?
Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, Arlene. How are
Amen.
you?
I am absolutely fantastic.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much, first and foremost, for taking time out of your Friday night. Because I know with booth things in the background, y'all definitely could be doing some other things.
Yeah.
So thank him and thank you for taking a little bit of time to come on the Unstoppable Story Show and talk about what you are grateful for. But now, Arlene, I can't, I tell all my guests, I cannot introduce them better than they can introduce themselves. So why don't you take a minute and introduce yourself again, for those who didn't see you earlier this year, you and Boo Thing, introduce yourself to the Unstoppable Story Show.
Well, I am Arlene Collins Wilson, and like you said earlier, I'm a co-author of Live Your Best Life, Walk by Faith, one of 10 co-authors. And I currently do a Facebook Live every Tuesday night called The Other Side of Through. Can you hear me, Terrence?
Yep,
I can't hear you. Can you hear
hear you,
me?
hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
just, I just gave you the mic, so you got the mic
Oh,
right
okay.
now.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
I do a Facebook Live and it's been a whole year now. Since this November, it's been a whole year. God just kept
Wow.
impressing upon my heart. Yeah, yay, 1 year. God kept impressing on my heart, just begin to share my journey. I was a little apprehensive at first, but I went ahead and do it, and I thought it was just going to be short term. But every week he gives me something to share, and I found out that in sharing, it's not just for me to keep to myself, but to share with others, because there may be someone else in that journey or in that struggle that I went through, that you don't have to stay stuck and getting on the other side of through. So I do that every Tuesday, and the audience is just growing. I'm having people that I got one feedback. She was just scrolling through and she just happened up on my page, and now she's a listener and watcher. So I'm thoroughly enjoying it myself. Well,
Well, I thoroughly enjoy it too, it's just a good precursor to come into my show. I sometimes I can't get people to come over to my show because they just been filled by your show that comes on before me. But that's all good. We all got our audience, and I'm just
yeah,
glad that you. Congratulations on doing this for a year. And we want you to keep doing it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,
yes.
as long as you feel that there are people that you need to reach on the other side of through. So thank you, and congratulations. Now
You're welcome.
listen, your Wi-Fi may be a little shaky, so if you drop, just come back in that link and we'll bring you back on, okay?
Okay, okay,
So, so as always, Arlene, I love to ask these questions of every guest on the Unstoppable Story Show. So I'm going to ask you both questions, and then just let you take the mic for a couple of minutes. The first question
okay.
is, what does it mean when you hear the word unstoppable? And then secondly, on this 19th day of the 24 days of gratitude, what are you grateful for?
Okay, first question you asked me, what does it mean to me to be unstoppable? And my mind goes back to 2009 when I first went back to college. And I received, after my first test, my first failing grade. And I was devastated. And I'm like, but I had this mindset that quitting is not an option, failure is not in my repertoire, and throwing in the towel is not in my DNA. So that's what I held on to. And so I went to the instructor and I asked him. I didn't ask him, what do I need to do? I asked him, what do I need to do to get an A in this class? That's the type of mentality and mindset that I had. And he explained to me what I needed to do. After the first test, I started sitting on the front row because there was a guy in front of me. Every time he turned around to talk to me constantly and distracted me. So I sat on the front row. I took notes. He wanted me to write a life changing story. And I did. And he was so moved and touched by it. And then he told me a faithful class, I never mixed class or whatever. And so at the end of that semester, I ended up getting an A in that class. And I was like, wow. So just thinking if I ever act. So going through that, I knew there's nothing possible that I couldn't do. And that was the beginning of me being unstoppable, with the saying that I held on to, that failure is not an option, quitting is not in my repertoire, and throwing in the towel is not DNA.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know what? We're gonna make sure that that gets into the comments, because that is a wonderful affirmation to have, especially for people who are thinking about giving up. And we know during this holiday season, with depression and with the weights that some people are carrying around, this is the time of
Yes.
year where people traditionally decide to give up. And so to have that
Yes.
affirmation out there, to let them know that it's quitting is not an option. Giving up is not what's in your DNA, that's a message that somebody needs to hear. And if they can see
Yes.
after they hear the rest of your grateful, unstoppable story, they're going to see that you're no different than they are, and that is going to be the
Exactly.
inspiration.
Exactly.
That's going to be that
Exactly.
inspiration for them to not give up this season too. Let me
Amen.
let me put up here what Boo Thang said. Give him his props first, and then you can tell us your gratitude story. Boo Thang, otherwise known as Eric Wilson Sr., the head of the Wilson household, he says,
Woohoo!
I am grateful for an angel for a wife. She will always be my yellow rose forever. God has really blessed me, and I thank Him every moment of each day. All right, everybody who's watching all around the world, and on the count of three, we're going to do this all together. One, two, three. Oh. Okay. I'm just giving him a hard time because he's not on screen. But that Eric Wilson Sr., he is truly a man of God as well, and
Yes, he
he knows
is.
a good thing when he has it, and he when he snatched it up. And you guys have been
Yes,
doing
yes,
you have been doing great all this time, and I believe that's part of your grateful story. Yes or no?
yes,
All
yes,
right,
it
so
is.
go ahead.
It
Tell
is.
us what you're grateful for.
Okay. I am grateful that during struggles in my life, and they were very, very challenging. I call them hard anymore. I call them challenging. That I did give up in it, and that's what inspired me to do the other through. That I didn't get stuck while I was in it, because I'm hearing God say, "I got you. Trust me in there." And I'm so grateful that I didn't give while I was in it. And I held on to the promises that He made to get me through it. Because the word says, yea, walk through the valley. He didn't say stay stuck in the valley, but go through the valley. Because everything appears as one thing, but it's really to get you distracted, stay stuck, and turn around and go the other way. But then once you keep your eye on the sword, you can get through it to the other side. So I'm grateful that I up while I was in it, and I'm able to enjoy the other side through. That's what I'm grateful for, because now I am living my best, and I truly am. This is a faith walk for me and a love walk. I'm glad to give up while I was in it to enjoy the other side.
I love it. So, just briefly, tell them some of the things you were experiencing before you went through the other side of through, and then we're gonna flip the script and talk about what you have also been able to experience now that you're on the other side of through.
I went through some very, very challenging times in my life, depression, abuse, abandonment, rejection. And when you go through that, you tend to compromise, lower your standards, because you feel like what life gives you is what you deserve, is all that you're supposed to have. You're not supposed to think that you deserve the best or things can get better. And that's what I was struggling with, self identity. Because when you in so many abusive relationships, and even from family, you tend to think you're less than what you really are. But then once you get to your relationship with God, He begins to say everything the opposite of what the enemy has been telling you. But at the time, you're not looking at these people in your life as the enemy, because these are the people that were sent to love you, supposed to love you. But because there's a distortion in their own lives, or in something insufficient in them, you're trying to get something from them out of their insufficiencies. It's sort of like putting money in the bank and trying to draw out something you don't have in there. That's insufficient. So they're trying to fulfill me out of their insufficiencies, and I couldn't get it from them. I had to get it from God. So I struggled with that until I completely surrendered and began to surround myself with people and His word and His presence to pull me out and to take the blinders off my eyes, and the scales began to fall off, and I could truly identify with who he says I am versus what my circumstances said I am.
Man, that's some powerful stuff right there. We hanging out on the 24 Days of Gratitude special edition of the Unstoppable Story Show with my girl, Arlene Collins Wilson, dropping some nuggets, sharing a message of
Yeah.
gratitude on this Friday night. So,
Yes.
some of the things you've experienced specifically since coming to the other side of through.
Yes. So since coming to the other side of through, I got to the point where I knew my identity. God told me that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And I had an issue with that at first because I was like, how can fear and God go in the same sentence? It's like it did
Okay.
just didn't make sense to me. So I began to study, and then he began to give me revelation. And one translation, after reading this, it means he hand designed me with his own hands. That means there's no one else like me. There's no one else in the earth that has my DNA or my fingerprints. That makes me unique. And he told me that there were billions of cells fighting to conceive, to be planted in my mother's womb, and I won. So I'm already a winner. I won. I'm a winner. And then he told me in that scripture of Psalms 139 and 14, well, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. When I began to read it in other translations, I found out that God thinks I'm breathtaking. I take his breath away. Woo! I am breathtaking. So not only am I fearfully and wonderfully made, I am breathtaking. So
Wow.
now that I know that, I didn't have to lower my standards nor compromise, but wait for everything God has for me. And that's what I decided to do. I was made fun of. I mean, my family was taking bets on me that I wasn't going to be able to uphold this type of lifestyle. But I ignored that and just kept my eyes on God and just kept trusting him and just kept looking to him because I had been single for 15 years, but I wasn't completely healed whole in those 15 years. It was the last 10 years that I was healed whole, complete, and lacking nothing. And I realized I didn't have to lower my standards and I didn't have to compromise. And they told me I was crazy for painting this kind of picture of a man that I desired. But I told God that's what I wanted. So he told me I didn't have to compromise. And I tell this story about a special order. I'm gonna make it short. Where these people go into a restaurant, and the first people that get there, they waiter come, the server come over, take their drink orders and everything, then and take their orders. Then another set of people come in, and she do the same thing. Well, the guy is sitting there waiting for his order. Everybody at his table has got their order, and even the people at the other table that came 20 minutes later, and they were all sitting there looking at him like, where's your food? He's like, I'm wondering the same thing. So he gets the service. She said, I am so sorry. Let me check and see what happened with your food. She comes back. She said, you ordered something special. You didn't order what everyone else ordered. So the chef himself is making your order, and he should be out. Your food should be out in a few minutes. He was like, okay. So sure enough, the server didn't bring his order. The chef himself
Mm,
came out with his
mm,
order. He said it's easy to make everybody else order because they all ordered the same thing, so you can make it in a big batch. But because you ordered something special, it challenged my skills. So I had to especially make it for you and serve it myself. So I relate that to because I didn't compromise, because I didn't lower my standards, because I didn't want what everybody else had. I was waiting on my special order, and my special order came in Eric Lord Wilson Sr. I
mm,
got it, and the
mm,
chef himself, the God
mm,
Almighty, brought it
mm,
to me.
Jesus, Jesus. And you know what? The thing that you didn't say, or you said earlier, but we have to reiterate in that order that you placed, in that special order you placed,
Yes.
you didn't make that order with any somebody. You made
No.
that, you took that order directly
Yes.
to the chef. So
Yes, I did. I
was the chef
right.
was instructed directly to serve you. But hey,
Yes.
here's the rub on that. The chef was not willing to serve you until you were willing to serve him.
Yes.
And that was a beautiful.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
beautiful thing. You had to go through all your mess, all your trials,
Woo.
all your tribulations, and you had to recognize that you take your own breath away, and therefore you can take other people's breath away. And you know what? I can't put up any more of your husband's posts because he's about to get R-rated on this new show. That is the power that you first had to find yourself
Yes.
before you could exude it out to the world so that
Right.
somebody else could catch those pheromones in their nose and recognize that the one, the only of those 20 million seeds that was popped off was
Right.
known as Arlene Collins, now
Yeah.
Arlene Collins Wilson.
And
So,
that's what I love so much about God is because I poured myself out to him. And I told him, I said, I don't desire to be single. I said, but if this is my lot in life, if this is my role with you, because I'm not going to lower my standards and I'm not going to compromise because I don't want my witness tainted with sin.
mhm,
I said, but give me the grace to walk this walk out with you. And I had completely surrendered my life with God. And I had completely in my heart decided it was just going to be me and God. Because he brought me through some things. There was miracles and things that happened in my life because I chose to serve him. And I chose not to compromise. Did some wolves in sheep clothing try to come?
mhm,
Yes. And
yes.
I was like, no. But I told God, I described him. I wrote it down. I even included it in my vows when I stood at the altar in front of my husband. I kept myself. I was a sassy lady, save, single, saving yourself. That's the kind of lady I was before I got married.
Mm,
And I told God that I want a man after your heart. I want a man that don't just say, I know God. I want a man that had a relationship with God.
yes.
I wanted a man that knew how to recognize me, just not by my physical appearance, but by the spirit, to recognize who I am in God. And that way, he knew how to cover me and carry me in the spirit. And that's exactly what my husband did.
Mm.
Exactly. It blew my mind when he did it. It was like, whoa.
So you took his breath away and it blew your mind. Okay.
Yes, it did.
You know, that's just powerful. And what I love about this story is that for, and I'm not going to ask you to tell your age, but for
I will.
many people, when they get in your age range, they think it's too late. They think that's it. Like you said, you thought it was just going to be you and God, ride or die, rolling into eternity. But
Right, right.
and a lot of people think about that, and that makes them sad. But
Hmm.
you held firm to what God had for
Yes,
you and what
yes,
you asked for God, and it
yes,
turned. Not only did it turn into a other side of through story, not only did it turn into a gratitude story, but it
yes.
turned into a never too
Too late.
story as well.
Yes, yes,
That's what I love about it. And anyone who's watching this live or replay, that's the message that we want to share with you.
it's
Your
never too late.
gratitude story is can also be a never too late story. Whatever
Yes,
you may be
yes.
looking at right now, and you may be thinking it's too late for you to have, or
Hmm.
it's too late for you to do, or it's
Hmm.
too late for you to be. Take it from Arlene Collins Wilson that when you get to the other side of through, not
Nothing's
only will you,
impossible.
nothing is
It's
impossible.
impossible.
Nothing is
Yep.
impossible. So yes,
And
go
we
ahead.
had we shared our story at the first couples retreat at our church. We had a couples retreat last weekend, and we shared our story, and it was called New Beginnings. And
Wow.
that was one of the first things that I shared was Eric and I are both in our 50s.
Mm.
I in 2 years I'll be celebrating my 60th birthday.
Woo! Looking like
So
27.
thank you. So it's not too late because what I love about God is he'll redeem the time in your life.
Hmm.
He'll put a whirlwind around you that pushes you and ushers you right where you're supposed to be. So for anyone that's watching, it's never too late when it comes to the things of God. As long as you're breathing, there's still a significant amount of blessings he can restore in your life. The thing about it is, are you ready?
Yes.
Because he'll keep you if you want to be kept.
Mm,
See, there's a difference with women that fall, because I found out that 60% of singles in churches are sexually active. 60%. So that tells me that their mind is not on the right thing. It tells me that they're impatient and they don't want to wait on God. But I was in the 40%, and I was determined to do it God's way, because I wanted to be kept. And I asked God, I'm going to do this as long as you keep me. But what we have to do is put our affections, our passions, and our desires on God and the things of God more than what you're struggling with.
yeah.
Because you constantly in your mind was like, I got to keep from doing this. I got to keep from doing that, versus pouring your love out on Him and spending time with Him, and He'll keep you. And then it'll get to the point, all you want to do is please God. So that other stuff over there is like, it's not even worth it. It's not worth it.
Right. I love it. And when you get your mind right, everything else falls right into place. And
Yes.
I think that is the true gratitude story of being on the
Yes.
other side of through. All those other things become insignificant. All those things of
Yes.
old that were
Yes.
important are no longer
Yes.
important. And then you can
Yes.
focus on what is really, really real. And because you focused on what was really, really real and you formed a real relationship with the man upstairs, he brought a
Yes.
man
Yes.
downstairs to keep that, to share that relationship with you. So
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
I'm so grateful to you for sharing your story on the 24
Amen.
days of
Yes.
gratitude. And I
Yes.
know you have blessed somebody who's watched the show
I
live,
hope. I
and you're
hope
going to
so.
bless somebody who's
Yes.
watching it in the replay. So I'm going to give you a minute to give us a last piece of advice on being grateful for the other side of through. Then we're going to talk about how they can get have a better conversation or a
Okay.
continued conversation with you. So any other advice on how people should be grateful on the other side of through?
What I would say is, be grateful for where you are, because every day is a present, because today is called the present. So it's a gift. So treat it as such. Don't focus so much on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. And then you have to fall in love with who you are in God. You are unique. We're all unique. We're all different. You're not supposed to be a copy of someone else. That's telling God He didn't know what He was doing. You are unique. He said you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That means you're breathtaking to God. He has something for you to do, and He wants to bless you, but you accept who you are, because you're gorgeous. You're unique. You. Be you, because everyone else is taken.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. That if Arlene don't do nothing, she keeps it real, and I love that so much about it. I love your spirit, and I love that I. What I love is I got a chance to see you before you hit the other side. And so I got a glimpse of who Arlene was on the other side. But baby, I'm so happy that you made it to the other side, because now your light shines and you glow and you don't even need the light on. That's just what the other side of through is doing for you. And yeah, that booth thing next to you has something to do with it, but
Yeah.
that glow came first, and
Hmm.
and your light shined on him where he was
Hmm.
able to see you in full sunburst, and he said, I see the sun and I gotta go get it. And so it's a beautiful thing, and
Yes.
you are a
Yes.
beautiful person, and both of you
Thank
guys
you.
together make a beautiful, powerful couple. So thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm
Thank
grateful.
you.
I'm grateful to have met you and Eric. I'm grateful to know you, and I'm grateful to call you guys new friends. So thank
Amen.
you.
Amen.
Thank you for coming and sharing some time with us on the others on the Unstoppable Story Show, 24 days of gratitude. But now
Amen.
somebody's gonna want to talk to you. I know they are. Somebody's gonna want to reach out to you, Arlene. Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
have some of that
Yeah.
sunshine on them. So how can they get in contact with you, or how can they get in contact or be and to watch your show on a weekly basis?
Well, I have a Facebook page. It's Arlene Collins Wilson on Facebook, and it's Arlene with a capital L and then Collins Wilson. And I have a Facebook Live every Tuesday night, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time, and I talk about the other side of through. And currently, I'm on a love journey to love like I've never been hurt, and it's a challenge as well. And we're going through the letters of love. So we'll know what love is and what love is not. And God wants us to love people the way He wants to love them, not the way we want to love them. So you can tune in on Tuesday nights, Facebook Live. You can share it. You can watch the live or the replay. And I just share my heart and my journey with God with you. Because I find out when I learn it and then I share it, I learn it twice and I get something else out of it. And it is my desire that none should be lost, but all should come to the kingdom because that's God's heart and it's also mine. And you can message me. I have a messenger. I'm not on Twitter and I'm not on Instagram. I'm still learning this social technology. So bear with me because I'm still old school.
But we
But you
will
can.
we will share this live on my Twitter and my Instagram page, and
Thank you,
we're gonna
Terrence, because I'm not there
we're gonna
yet.
work with Arlene to help her get this social master her social media because there's way more people that need to get to the
Amen.
other side of through. So we want them on
Right.
the other side of through on
Amen.
Instagram. We want them on the other
Amen.
side of through on Twitter. We want them on the other
Amen.
side of through on YouTube, wherever we can find
Praise
them
God.
because
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sure you will agree, the church and your ministry works best outside of the
Of the
four
four
walls.
walls.
So we're going to take
Yes.
them outside of the four walls of
Yes.
Facebook and reach them
Yes.
wherever they may be, right?
Yes. And Terrence, I would just like to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Uh
Uh-oh, here we
you
go. Look, I gotta go get some tissue. Wait. Here, okay, I'm ready. Here we go.
I still have my bracelet you gave me in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago in
Mm-hmm.
April 2018, and I turned it the other way and you said no, I want you to turn it the other way so you can read it for yourself. And you said a year from now I expect to see a different person. You have a story and you need to tell it. So I appreciate you so much for that.
Was
That was like a boost that I need. So I support you in everything that you do, and every chance I get, I try to watch you. I try to tune in because you're an inspiration to me as well. And your Unstoppable show has is really helping people because I've watched some challenges that you yourself have gone through, and I see you go through them. You didn't stay in them. You
mm-hmm.
went through them, and where some people probably would have gotten stuck in the through, but it's to go through. And my marriage I don't take for granted. I don't take it lightly. I tell my husband every day, sometimes a couple times a day, how much I appreciate and love him. And because he has loved me in ways no other man ever has loved me, including my father.
Mm.
And that's what the Spirit of the Lord told me, that he would love me in ways that my own father didn't understand how to love me. And I'm appreciative to that, and that's why I don't mind sharing my story for those that desire to be married, desire to have a man of God in their life. But you have to be the woman of God prepared for a man like that. You can't wait until you get married to be a wife. You got to be preparing to be a wife so that when it happens you know how to pour into the man of God. And that's what God has equipped me with, to be a woman of wisdom. And a wise woman builds, a foolish one tears it down. And the
Mm.
revelation he gave me in that is a wise woman responds, but a foolish woman reacts. And when
Mm.
we react out of our emotions and we tear stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
When all it takes is a few minutes to look at the big picture of what could happen. Is this going to build or is this going to tear down? And if it's build, then you respond from your place of wisdom with God. And you can only get wisdom from God.
I love it. I love it. There you go, y'all. That's the reason why y'all need to check her out, The Other Side of Through, every Tuesday night. It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Central Time on
Yes.
Arlene Collins Wilson's Facebook page. Go ahead over
Yes.
and message her
Yes.
right now. Let her know
Yes.
what this message has done for you, because it
Amen.
has done the world for me, and I thank you. On a Friday night, man, look at that. Look at here, look at here, look at here. Thank you so much. As I said
You're
again,
welcome.
I am grateful for you. I'm grateful that you took the message. I'm grateful that you believed in the message, because as I told you then, the message wasn't coming from me. It was coming through me, from
Amen.
somebody who was trying to get to you. And
Amen.
every time you look down, you remember
Yes.
that you
Yes.
are unstoppable. And I
I
thank you
am.
so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Arlene Collins Wilson, check her out, The Other Side of Through, every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Central on Facebook Live. You definitely will be blessed if you tune in to
Thanks,
her.
everybody.
And as always, Arlene, I love you guys. Tell Eric I
Love you
love him
too.
too. I'll talk
Uh,
to him offline about that question that he threw in the feed. Here's a message. Don Woodring Mosley says, "Thank you for the great message,
oh
Arlene."
wow. You're
Yeah,
welcome, Don.
yes,
You're so
indeed.
welcome.
So you guys, if you're coming in late, this has been day 19 of the 24 days of gratitude. And you know what? I put this pledge out to people to come on live and share their story. And look at God. He has brought people on live to share what they're
Yes.
grateful for. And Arlene, not just you, but every day for the rest of the days that we have going up to Thanksgiving, I have a guest that is coming
Amen. I
on to
saw
talk
Angie
about
last
what
night.
they're
She was
grateful. Yes,
phenomenal.
Angie B. Fabulous. I just threw
Yes.
down the house. You tonight. And then we got the Make Every Second Count motivational
Oh,
speaker
Jeff.
himself, Jeff Martinet, on
Oh,
tomorrow
yeah.
night.
I
Uh,
got to watch that.
yes, definitely. We've got a great lady from the Midwest, Ruth McD, talking about her unstoppable story and what she's
Amen.
grateful
Amen.
for on Sunday.
Yay.
We've got who do we have on Monday? Monday we have Christine Kozacek, where every
Oh, wow.
woman, every girl wins.
Wins.
She's gonna be on Monday
Christine.
night.
Christine.
Yes, she's gonna be on Monday night, and then Tuesday night we have another unstoppable story, another gratitude story on our regular day for the unstoppable stories. We've got a great story of a
Amen.
man who was wrongfully convicted and spent over
Wow.
2 decades in jail. But God,
Wow.
but God
But
finally,
God.
but
But
God
God.
put some rams in the bush, and they worked on his
Redeeming
behalf.
the time.
Yes, and they were able to get him released. But during that time, just like the three men in the fire, he used that time to work on this man. And this man wrote in his journal. He had a gratitude journal for 20 years in prison. And he also got
Wow.
an education. And now the people who
Wow.
helped get him exonerated are the very same lawyers that he works for now. Now,
Wow.
that's a gratitude
That's
story if
powerful.
you ever heard one.
That's
So
powerful.
definitely, you guys who are watching every day between now and Thanksgiving, you've got a good reason to watch the 24 Days of Gratitude. And as always,
Amen.
we want you to go ahead and put your gratitude message in there. We want you to it's a simple question. What are you grateful for? Think about that. Put your comments in there tonight and each and every night, as we're going to be coming back at this time every day, all the way up till Thanksgiving, talking about gratitude so that you
Amen.
take a minute, an hour, or even a day to think about more about what you have and less about what you have not. Because when you
Amen.
focus on what you have, he will give you more. And then because
Yes.
he is unstoppable and we are his children, that
Yes.
makes me and you
Unstoppable.
unstoppable too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
wherever you are in the world today, just like my girl Arlene Wilson is doing, don't just make it a great day. Do what? Make
Make it
it
an
an
unstoppable day.
unstoppable day. Take
Yes.
care, you guys. Love you.